Live. We're live? We on? Is it working? Says live on the phone here, so I'm going to go with it. Hi, good morning. Thanks for joining us at the first... We're good? Okay, good. The first new live stream of 2021. And we're so glad 2020 is over because, quite frankly, it's, forgive my language, but it's been a shit show, 2020. But we're looking forward to 2021. Everything's slowly getting back to normal, hopefully. I'm going to start this the way I start all the live streams. First, welcoming you to our live stream, SilviaFindings, premier company of sterling silver findings, chains, clasps, you name it, rings, pendants, charms, beads. Did I say beads? I'll say it twice because we have lots of them. In the world. So, why do I feel so unprepared all of a sudden? Hi, Pat. I see that somebody's joined. So thanks for joining us this morning. Hopefully, as the pandemic begins to get more under control and more people get vaccinated and you know, we start getting more people out in the public, you know, hopefully shows will start up again. That'll be great. You know, we'll start seeing you guys more regularly in person. But in the meantime, you know, we wanted to keep, you know, connecting with people. Marble wanted to have kind of a video catalog of all of the products, and we've been going through, if you've seen the last couple of videos, or the last 10 or so, I guess it is, 9, I'm not sure which one this is. We've been doing a couple trays of the pendants, you know, every week, and we're continuing with that thing. We've got probably another 4 or 5 weeks to go of this before we go on to something else. But we wanted to have, you know, sometimes, you know, if you see the items in a catalog, you know, you can get a good idea of, you know, what it looks like. But it's hard to visualize sometimes, you know, without a stone in it, or, you know, how long are the prongs, you know, what's the best way to set this, what's the best way to use it. And that's what this series is generally for. We're going to talk about each individual product. You know, you'll probably see things that you haven't seen before. Well, I guarantee you're going to see things you haven't seen before, because even, you know, to this day, I've been here 3 years, so more than 3 years, and I still every once in a while look at something and say, have I seen this before? I don't remember seeing this before. So maybe that's just age catching up with me. But anyway, neither here nor there. I do want to talk a little bit about shipping, state of shipping, because of course during the holidays it was a nightmare. You know, peak volumes everywhere, people, you know, ordering everything, you know, because not so many people going out to the stores. So there was a lot of, you know, obviously a lot more Amazon, you know, kind of shopping, or Amazon-esque shopping. So that, you know, created a lot of bottlenecks as far as the shipping goes, and that hasn't really let up. We just had one, you know, we have issues with, you know, shipping all the time, especially within Canada, and this is my own personal bugaboo, but Canada Post is just, they just don't have it together yet, you know. They're trying, and I feel like they're, you know, every time I see trucks, we see, you know, we're hiring, please come work for us, because a lot of our staff are quarantined or stuff, or whatever the story is. But I feel like they just didn't hire the normal number of extra staff that they normally would for a holiday season, and this year was especially bad. So things got, you know, I think they were quoting way back in the beginning of December, you know, that if you hadn't shipped your stuff by like the 9th or something, it wasn't going to get anywhere for Christmas. So, and we just had one thing that we counted was it only just arrived like Monday, this past Monday, and we had shipped it on the 1st of December. So, and that's from Vancouver to Edmonton. I could we were joking, I could have walked there faster. But I think that was kind of like an outlier. Something was, was in a bin somewhere, and this is the problem with the kind of issues that they're having at these things. You get these distribution centers where there are only so many people working, and they get stuff, and it all gets thrown into a bin. And as they get working with it, they're trying to go as fast as they can, and maybe they don't get to the bottom of the bin. And the next day, more trucks come in and they fill stuff up in the bin again, and they try to work through that. And I realize I'm just generalizing, but I've heard this is the issue. That things get stuck places, and they just sit there for ages and ages and ages. But it seems to be getting a little bit better now. Volumes obviously are much decreased. Shipping into the States is still, great, still fine. We use an awesome service called Chit Chats, where they actually truck we drop the stuff off here. They have a location here in Richmond. We drop it off there. They truck it across the border, and then they put it into the U.S. Postal Service system thing. So it takes an extra day because they drive it down there, and then it goes into the mail the next day. So if you order it on a Monday and we ship it on a Monday, it'll technically only go into the mail on Tuesday. But still, I mean, it's way faster than Canada Post would take getting it there. And postage rates in the U.S. are much lower than they are here. So it's actually cheaper for us to send something from here to Florida, which is literally the opposite end of the continent, than it is for us to ship something from here to Calgary, which is the next province over, which is always kind of blows me. It kind of brings into perspective how different the infrastructures of the different, postal services have grown. Obviously the U.S. is a much bigger country, not landmass wise, but population wise. So they just have a bigger postal service, and the Canada Post still will deliver to every address in the country. And there are some pretty remote places here. So anyway, neither here nor there. What else? I think that's my only thing as far as shipping goes. I think shipping is going good. I discovered that shipping into France is kind of an issue because they'll slap a customs charge, like a random custom charge, is 20 euros, I think is what it was, on anything. Just, here you go, we're importing it into the country, so you must pay. Which is weird to me because I just not unfamiliar with how they do that. So, little things you learn along the way. And we still get, more orders from Malta, which I have to go there because I feel like it's a cool place. Because they were one of the first, foreign countries that when we opened our Etsy store, we've always had the website. So, that's neither here nor there. But we started getting orders from weird places. I guess it's not a weird place, but unusual places. Little island nation in the middle of nowhere, middle of the ocean. Anyway, Atlantis, right? And that's what people say. Malta is Atlantis. Or one of those places. Okay, I feel like I had one or two other things I wanted to mention, but I can't think of them right now, and I probably should have written them down. But I'm just making this up as I go anyway, so. We'll just jump right in. Okay, so we're using a different camera today. So let me just figure out how to do this. And that goes that way. There we go. Okay, our first item today is a lovely pendant. It's for an oval pendant. It's got like a free-form kind of setting there. It's kind of a pear-shaped, frame that also moves. It's just very cool. MTP 619B For an 18 by 24 millimeter oval, the retail price is $33.64 and the wholesale price is $22.43. And again, we've got this lovely little labradorite in here just to show you what it looks like. Right. Very simple frame, very simple setting. Awesome for a a beautiful cab that has nice chatoyance like this one does. That's a good stone. Our next item is this lovely rectangular frame. This again is a lapidary special. It helps if you're a lapidary, so you can carve the edges of your cab so they just perfectly fit into those rounded corners. MTP 510 for approximately 24 by 32 millimeter cabochon. Retail price is $142.42 and the wholesale price is $94.94. What? $42.42, $94.94. That feels like it was somebody said, oh, we must put lucky numbers in here. Anyway, this is just a gorgeous, thick, open frame thing. Like, this is definitely a statement piece, where maybe the cabochon you have is, kind of boring, and you want something spectacularly, unbelievably spectacular to put it in. This is just one of those stellar kind of pieces. No matter what you put in there, even if it'd be even better if you had a really awesome cab in there. But even like a boring cab would be just stellar in there. Just love that. It's got that lovely Puritan cutouts in the bail, right? Nice and thick. Here's our next one is MTP 650 for a 16 by 23 millimeter oval cabochon or cut stone, given the seat is one of those hybrid seats designed for either. Right. Retail price is $34.11 and the wholesale price is $25.58. This has some pretty tall prongs, so you can get a nice thick cab in there, or you can trim them down if you're putting a cut stone in there if the girdle is not super high from the seat. There's lovely cubic zirconia in the bail there, as well as around this little element up at the top there, and a row of them down at the bottom as well. Very classic. I wish I had a cab to put in there, because I think this is one of those ones that it would be really awesome to see it with a stone inside. Anyway. This next one, MTP 617A for a 28 by 38 millimeter cabochon. Retail price $70.53 and the wholesale price is $53.22. Now I said cabochon just because the seat here is flat at the bottom of the prongs, so a cab will fit best in there. Although you probably could. Oh no, that's been damaged. See this? Doing, that one's been destroyed for some reason, and the stones have popped out when it got bent. So here's a good example of not to bend those frames that have the stones in there, sort of thing. Let me get one out of the bag to show you a good one, and how they don't all look like that, right? So obviously the one we send you is going to be beautiful, pristine like this. No missing stones, no crazy bent up frame. It'll still have those great prongs though. So I just love this kind of I don't know, that paisley sort of shape, with a little scroll up at the top, bedecked in cubic zirconias. This is one of those ones where with a cab in there, all you'd see is the cubic zirconia frame, and the CZs everywhere. Stunning piece. Here's just a little bit bigger version of that same thing. MTP 617 for a 29 by 39. The other one was 28 by 38, so this one was a millimeter bigger. Retail price $72.80 and the wholesale price $54.60. And it's got that same Lovely cubic zirconias all the way around. Love that. Here's a pear pendant, right, for a pear-shaped cabochon or cut stone. It's got that chevron opening, right? The chevron opening at the top. So ideally, you'd want the pear for this to have pretty pointy top. If it's a little bit rounded, it's okay, but it can't be too rounded. It's just not as secure. So pointy top for the CZ for the pear cabochon and that. You might be able to get away with a cut stone in there, although I think this is it's designed for a cab. I think if the pavilion is not super deep, that you might get away with a cut stone in there, but either way, I just love these kind of flowy components alternating with cubic zirconias or not. And all the CZs up along the sides. It's got some pretty good sized prongs, pretty tall prongs. So, you know, even a super thick cabochon will work great in here. Yeah, just love that. Nice big open bail. Our next item here, this is one of my favorites. MTP 445 for a 15 by 20 millimeter cabochon or cut stone. It's got some pretty good sized prongs. So, you know, will definitely work if it's a pretty thick cab. Retail price is $68.99 and the wholesale price is $45.99. I just love this kind of swirly effect with the rows of cubic zirconias, alternating cubic zirconias and not. And this gorgeous bail up at the top, big round bail with a circle of cubic zirconias and an inverted pear, right? Nice wide, you know, bails for chains of all sizes. Here's another piece for, this is definitely for a cabochon. Yeah. I mean, you could probably cut a cut stone in there if you want, but I think it would look weird. Got those beautiful long prongs for cabochon. And I love this, you know, it's kind of like a faux granulation, you know, all the way around, that kind of ballet style granulation. Obviously it's not real granulation because these are cast, but it gives you that look, right? MTP 245 for a 29 by 39 millimeter cabochon. Retail price $62.36 and the wholesale price is $38.97. I just had this image of somebody, a lapidary, trying to cut a 30 by 40 cab, because 30 by 40 millimeters is a pretty common size, and then realizing he's filed it a little bit too small to get the curves right, and said, oh, we've got the perfect setting for you, sir. And I know that I'm the only one in the world who probably think that's funny, but, you know, I was that middle child who always has to be the one who makes himself laugh. MTP 383 for a 23 by 30 millimeter cabochon. You probably put a cut stone in there too. $89.22 is the retail price and $59.48 is the wholesale price. I just love this, you know, the rows of cubic zirconias around the outside. And I love how there's a lot of these have components that alternate, you know, this, you know, just smooth silver, then CZ, silver, CZ, etc., all the way around. And I love that. It's got this gorgeous, what is that? Hyacinth flower, maybe, up at the top with a cubic zirconia point in there. We've got this lovely, again, lovely bail, same bail that we had on the other piece there. Here's one, MTP 659 for a 25 by 33 millimeter cab. Retail price $56.16. Wholesale price is $42.12. Again, just lovely, kind of a pear-shaped setting, right? For an oval stone, and we got this lovely cabochon in there. This lovely labradorite. I love the row of cubic zirconias along the bottom, right? Nice open back, allowing light to flow through. So stones that display chatoyance are especially good in these kind of settings. And the lovely cubic zirconia encrusted bail at the top. Just stunning piece. the winner. Our next item, MTP 663 for a 15 by 22 millimeter cab. Retail price is $38.48 and wholesale price is $28.86. And this just kind of like a, I don't know, it kind of evokes like a bag, a money bag to me, but not really. Just cool swirls and ribbons with cubic zirconias in there. It's got that lovely big open bail. This is actually a pretty good example. Sometimes, like this says 15 by 22. You know, this stone might be something like 15 by 21. And people often ask me, you know, hey, will this work? Will it fit? And yes, obviously it will. This one though, the frame on the back, I don't know if you can see on the back of the stone, the seat is pretty flat. This is one of those hybrids that's designed for a cab or a cut stone. And you can see, so the width is the same, right? You see that right up on the edge, right? And you don't see any silver on the frame, but you see how you can see a little bit of the sliver of the silver of the seat on, you know, above or behind the top of that, and a little bit on the bottom, right? You could probably alleviate that a little bit just by tacking it in a little bit differently, you know. But that's the thing that you'll see. Some people don't mind that at all. It makes no difference to them. Other people, it really bugs them. So that's the only thing. You could get away also with sometimes with, you know, a cab that's maybe 15 by 22, maybe like 15 by 23 even. You know, because it could extend past, you know, the tip of that. I guess it depends on the curvature of the top and the bottom of the cabochon. Anyway. Moving right ahead, here's a little bit smaller version of that great big, that 29 by 39 one we had. MTP 244 for a 21 by 29 millimeter cabochon. Retail price $39.98 or $39.88, and the wholesale price is $24.92. And again, this nice big solid, got those big tall prongs, you know, right? Just lovely, that faux granulation all the way around. Here's another stunner. This one, MTP 903 for a 23 by 30 millimeter cabochon. $79.04 is the retail price and $49.40 is the wholesale price. It's got this lovely open, you know, bail with that row of dots, or kind of, again, faux granulation, and then it's just, you know, cubic zirconia madness all the way around it. I just love all these intertwining ribbons with the it's like these are cast, but if this were fabricated, the kind of setting this is called bead and bright cut, you know, where channels are cut for all of the stones, and then the stones are set in there, and the areas around where the intersections of all of the holes that were cut become the prongs, and you push those down, and that holds the stones in place. It's very, very labor intensive, you know, setting all of those stones. Hi, Roxanne. Yeah, that is gorgeous. And again, it's just a stunner one. And it's got those two big cubic zirconias at the top, and these, you know, again, these bead and bright cut set cubic zirconias all the way around. Again, I believe it's cast with these channels already cut in them. So, you know, if this were, you know, cast all as one piece, and then all of these things were actually bead and bright cut put in there, you know, the labor, I mean, it would be hundreds of dollars of labor. So luckily, with the technologies of casting, we can design these so that setting the stones is just a function of popping the stones in there and then setting them all, pushing them all these. I mean, it's still labor intensive, but not crazy like it would be. Anyway, this one, again, did I say for 23 by 30 millimeter cabochon? You could probably put a cut stone in there, but a cab would work best. It's got those beautiful tall prongs on that one. This next one, MTP 587 for a 16 by 21 millimeter cabochon. Retail price $22.15 and the wholesale price $13.85. And again, this one is ideal for if you're a lapidary, you know, to cut those corners exactly right. But you know, any old 16 by 21 millimeter cab, if it's perfectly square, you know, it won't fit because the corners will you know, extend past that curve in the corner. You know, so you need to be able to, you know, file those downs, you know, to cut those downs on your stone to get them to look right. Here's one that actually, another gorgeous stunner, MTP 717 for a 18 by 25 millimeter stone. The retail price is $63.23 and the wholesale price is $39.52. And this, I just want to draw your attention to this bale. There's this lovely, I don't know what that is. Maybe I don't know, kind of floral thing, you know, with all the cubic zirconias in there. Nice big wide bale for chains coming through, and all, you know, just tons of little, you know, flowery flora and fauna all the way around with cubic zirconias in there. It's got some rounds, some tube set, some prong sets, some pear shapes. Just a cornucopia of, you know, cubic zirconias around there. And actually I have a stone that fits as an ugly stone. But we'll see if we can make this. Yeah, that's not the right stone for that. You need something really grand to put in this setting. Although the setting does make that stone look way nicer than it was. Anyway, neither here nor there. Here we got a little more, a little less ornate, MTP 512 for an 18 by 24 millimeter cabochon. Retail price is $102.65 and the wholesale price is $64.16. This is just a solid, gorgeous, great big thick, very three-dimensional frame. You know, these kind of rosettes on the sides, you know, the cardinal points, and that lovely bale with a little marcasite in there at the top of that, right? Just gorgeous. That's definitely a cabochon because you need to glue that in there. Glue, the G word, I said it. MTP 671 for an 11 by 22 millimeter pear-shaped cabochon. Retail price is $29.59 and the wholesale price is $17.75. I love the way this just, you know, all three parts are separate, right? So these, it's just a bale, and then there's a loop attached to this big pear, and then the smaller setting goes inside there. So this is a lot of movement on this thing. Is very supple, very cool, very simple but elegant, you know, without being crazy, you know, without having all kinds of, you know, crazy swirls or stones or stuff in here. Kind of the opposite of this one, which I have to admit, this is also kind of one of we have one like this that's for an oval that I just love it. I think I did it last week. Anyway, it's got that lovely bale that we've seen before on a couple of other pieces with that faux granulation, but it's all, you know, nice big open frame. And then it's got these swirling kind of ribbons coming all the way around the pear-shaped seat, bedecked with cubic zirconias all the way through, and a nice big CZ down at the bottom. MTP 622 for a 24 by 36 millimeter pear-shaped cab, maybe a cut stone depending on the shape of the pavilion. $71.76 is the retail price and $53.82 is the wholesale price. It's got that chevron in the top, right? So you just have to be careful. Got some pretty good sized prongs in here, so even, you know, a crazy thick cabochon will work great in here. Again, you know, because you've got this chevron in the top versus having, you know, the separate prongs, pointy top would work best for this. If the corner is too rounded, or the point at the top of the cab is too rounded, then it doesn't grip as well, and it's not as secure. Another one, MTP 620 for a 13 by 19 millimeter cabochon. Retail price is $34.32, and the wholesale price is $25.74. And this, I just put a little stone in there, but you can see that without it, right? It's got that lovely, good tall prongs. So it's ideal for a seat for a cabochon. Again, depending on the shape of the pavilion, you might be able to get away with a cut stone in there. You don't want to have it too deep, because this is not a deep basket pendant, and you don't want the culet to stick out the back and scrape you on the chest as you're wearing it. It's got this lovely row of cubic zirconias around the outside, and that lovely CZ bedecked bail, right? Just put that, so that's what it looks like with a stone. I think that stone is about 0.5 millimeter smaller than the setting, but you get a good idea what it looks like with a stone in there. Even with a super plain stone like this, just gorgeous. My next one, MTP 269 for a 22 by 29 millimeter oval cabochon or cut stone. Retail price $37.43, and the wholesale price $25.79. It's got a nice plain bail with a loop, and then it's got this kind of interesting look, like it's almost like swirling ribbons, although they're not. They're two-dimensional, right? If you look at it from the front, it looks one way, but you look from the side, it's a completely different effect. Anyway, there's a bunch of cubic zirconias, 3 in the bottom and 2 along the sides. A little granulation up at the top, right? Just lovely. Oh, I got these wrong, set up wrong. This one, very cool. We've got this skull. This is for a cabochon, because, you know, this things to glue that in there. MTP 675 for a 22 by 28 millimeter cab. Retail price is $47.49, and the wholesale price is $29.68. And this, you know, the cabochon goes down in here. I think I have one that might fit, actually. That one? No. Oops. That stone fits in there. Might be a millimeter or a 0.5 millimeter too tall. Right, but you get the idea. That fits in there, and then you would glue that down onto the back. And I would, if it, you know, because this is not a particularly thick cab, right, the setting, there's a little gap there, I would go ahead and push that down onto the stone once it's in there, to just help hold it in place and give it that, like, just very cool pendant. I just love that one. Here's another one. This, I think, is just one of the most, this is one of the most popular ones we have on in our Etsy store. And maybe it's because the prongs are so, you know, insanely tall that you could fit any cab in existence into this pendant. And it's a real problem. You know, some people cut, you know, the slabs that they're going to cut their cabs out of. They cut them real thick, because I don't know, maybe the idea is that as you're doming, you know, the cab, as you're cutting it down, it ends up losing some of the material. But I think sometimes the ones that I've seen that are just, you know, super thick. Anyway, there could be other reasons for that. Maybe things like, you know, it does seem to be always moonstones and labradorites that are really, really thick ones. So maybe the extra thickness adds more of that flash, more of that chatoyance. Anyway, this lovely kind of Celtic looking knots up at the top. That frame, just a plain round 12 by 16 millimeter oval seat for a cabochon, maybe a cut stone. MTP $8.94. Retail price is $20.70, and the wholesale price is $13.79. Oh, I had a stone that fit in there. Oh well. Let me just show you that. Right, that's what it looks like with a stone in there. So, because sometimes it's kind of hard to see what it would look like, you know, just you see the frame and everything behind, and this definitely takes away anything that you're not supposed to see, and just gives you a good idea of what the actual setting looks like in use. Here's another lovely MTP 662 for 16 by 28 millimeter pear-shaped stone, cabochon, maybe a cut stone, probably a cab. Retail price $36.19 and the wholesale price $27.14. There's a lovely open bale with an inverted pear there with a bunch of cubic zirconias inside. It's got that chevron prong at the top with the notch carved in there, so definitely you would need a pointy top you know, on your cab for this. It's got some pretty good tall prongs. Those are bent over because they've been in the tray at shows, and other trays get stacked on top of them, and sometimes it pushes those prongs open. But this is just lovely, you know, row of cubic zirconias around another one. Here's one MTP 958 for a 10 millimeter round. I'm going to show you what it looks like without the stone in there, right? So this is that lovely, you know, twined knots as the bail, right? Next big, you know, round bail is probably, boy, a 5-6 millimeter gap. So even just monstrous chains would fit in there. And then there's this lovely, you know, vines and leaves, you know, all the way around, and that forms like a cap that fits into your stone, right? There's one with a stone in there. That's what it looks like from the front. MTP 958 for a 10 millimeter or up to a 10 millimeter round. You can probably get away with an 8 millimeter, as small as an 8 millimeter stone in there, or sphere in there. We put a bead. Oh, you can see the hole. I wanted to turn this around so that it just looked like a sphere, not like a bead that I jammed in there. But anyway, either would work. Retail price $19.01 and wholesale price is $11.88. And that's it for that tray. Moving on to the next tray, which is almost all, and I'm just going to show you one thing. The next tray is almost all these generic basket settings. These are probably the most versatile settings, the most common settings that we have. They've got that split bail. I call it a rabbit ears bail. They're designed for cut stones because they've got a pretty deep basket, right? But I've sat lots of cabs in these, you know, over the years, and almost all of the, not almost, all of the ones that I have that I put stones in, I put cabs in them. So you'll see some of them, you know, with cabs. The smallest one we have of this, and this one doesn't have a bail, it just has a loop at the top, is for a 2 by 5 millimeter oval, MTP 755 for retail price is $5.64 and the wholesale price is $3.54. So 2 by 5 is the smallest, 3 by 5 is the next one, right? Same thing, same basket setting. MTP 754 again for a 3 by 5 millimeter stone. Retail price $6.01, wholesale price $3.76. Our next size up is 4 by 6, MTP 753, retail price $7.11, and wholesale price is $4.45. Now those smaller ones, these smaller ones, all these ones 4 by 6 down, they just have a loop at the top. They don't have a bail in there. Just because there's so many other ways you could use these things as dangles off a chain at various places or dangles off a necklace. So we didn't automatically put a bail on there. Obviously you could buy a snap-on bail and just snap one on there if you want. But generally tiny stones like that aren't going to be the centerpiece of a necklace anyway, unless it's a really super special one. Anyway, bigger ones, we have bails on them already, just this plain silver, bail, soldered lupin bail. MTP 752B. This one is 5x7 millimeter oval cut stone cabochon. Retail price $7.89. Wholesale price is $5.27. And the next size up, this is also 5x7. What? Okay. MTP 752, and the other one was B. Retail price $6.88. Wholesale price is $4.30. Next size up is 6x8, MTP 751, for a retail price $8.24, and the wholesale price is $5.77. And all the rest of these in this line have that incorporated split bail in the top, sort of thing. So it's all one piece. Next one up, and I put a little cab in there so you can see that, right? What you're looking at, you just a plain, simple MTP 750 for a 7x9 millimeter oval cab or cut stone. Retail price $8.14. Wholesale price is $5.43. And the next one is an 8x10, right? MTP 749. Retail price is $8.81, and the wholesale price is $6.18. Whoops, that's slipping out there. Obviously, I didn't set these. I just put them in there so that you'd be able to see what it looks like with this stone. And now I can't get that to go back in there. Right? Anyway, neither here nor there. The next size up, 9x11, MTP 748. $10.36 is the retail price. $6.92 is the wholesale price. Next size up, MTP 747 for a 10x12 millimeter oval. Retail price $12.14, and the wholesale price is $8.10. Right, so that's 10x12. Next one up is a 10x14, and again, this is not exactly the right size of a cab to put in there. Just wanted you to see what it looks like, right, with a cabochon in there. MTP 745, again for a 10x14 millimeter stone. Retail price $14.59, and the wholesale price is $9.72. The next one size up is for 11x13 millimeter oval stones. Retail price $12.34, wholesale price $8.22, and and the SKU of that, MTP 745. The next one here, MTP 744 for a 12x14 millimeter oval. Retail price $13.43, wholesale price is $8.96. Next size up is for 11x15, MTP 743. Retail price is $13.95, and the wholesale price is $9.30. Right, there's a good side view of that basket. Right, this is actually the kind of basket that every jeweler builds when you're doing your. If you've done any serious bench jewelry classes, this is one of the first things you learn how to build, and it's such a pain in the ass to do it that it's just lovely to see them so nicely made, and cast. I think because so this one here, MTP 1067 for a 12x16 millimeter oval cabochon or cut stone. The retail price is $14.69, and the wholesale price is $9.18. Now, there's no jeweler in the world that could make this, right, for $14.69, even at the retail price, right? Just the amount of time that it takes. Anyway. Here's one, MTP 742, the next size up, 13x18 millimeter oval. Retail price is $17.02, and the wholesale price is $11.34. And this I put a cab in here. This is weird. It's like, it's almost like it should be a bead, like, right? There should be a hole through there because it's a cab with 2 domes. So I don't know, but it looks good in there, so I'll just put it in there as an example. The next one, MTP 741 for a 14 by 20 millimeter oval cabochon or cut stone. Cut stones are better again. Our retail price $19.25, wholesale price is $12.84. The next size is 16 by 22 millimeter. That's MTP 740. Retail price $21.45. Wholesale price is $14.30. And the biggest one of this style that we have is for an 16 by 20 or 18 by 24 millimeter oval MTP 739. Retail price is $23.66, and the wholesale price is $15.77. Right. Then we've got the one kind of incongruously placed. There's a similar thing, and I know that we have more of these in another tray, so this is not really in the right place, but it's in the tray that I'm doing now, so I'll do it now. It's the same basket, same kind of basket, only with a split rabbit ear bail, only designed for a pear shape instead of a oval. MTP 763 for a 9 by 13 millimeter pear. Retail price $10.50. Wholesale price $7.01. Our next one, we're done with those basket ones. This is just a nice, very simple low basket, right? So probably for a cab, although that's got that hybrid seat that you can use for a cabochon or a cut stone. I would just be careful if it's a real deep pavilion that the culet, if the culet is very pointy, that might scratch on you and make you cranky. So I think your cab works better in here, but again, you can put a cut stone in there. Anyway, MTP 375 for a 12 by 16 millimeter cabochon, like that one that I just popped in there. Retail price $15.98, and the wholesale price is $10.24. And golly, these green cabs look way better on camera than they look in real life, I promise. Not that it really matters. MTP 230 for a 5 by 7 millimeter oval. Retail price is $7.64, and the wholesale price is $4.78. And this, again, it's got that same split bail, but this is a little bit different. This is one of those crown settings that they're designed for cut stones because they got those very deep, seat, and the pre-notched gouges in the notches, the pre-notched notches in the tops of these prongs are pretty close to the top there, right? So the stone would sit pretty forward in that setting. Again, just very traditional, very gorgeous, very lovely. A totally different tack here. MTP 1135 for a 12 by 16 millimeter oval cabochon, and I wonder if that one will fit in there, because this is one of those settings that it's hard to visualize until you've seen it set. I'm not going to set this one, but that actually does fit in there. MTP 1135 for a 12 by 16 millimeter oval cab. Retail price is $11.85. Wholesale price is $7.41. And it's very simple, very plain, soldered loop and bail. I don't actually have that in there. You can see it on that side, right? So it's got this lovely bezel wall that's made with all these curly cues. You can get that to pop out of there. And all you would do, you put the stone in there, you push those curly cues down over onto the thing like you're setting a regular bezel wall. I guess if the cabochon is really thick, you'd have to glue that down in there. Just so you know. I just love that. I just find those so gorgeous for some reason. Better than a plain old bezel anyway. MTP 874 for an 8 by 10 millimeter oval cabochon or cut stone, right? It's got a pretty good sized basket, so you can definitely put a nice deep cut stone in there. And it's just very cool how the bezel becomes, you know, it's incorporated into that upside down heart. Just very cool. And that's the last one from this tray. Now the next tray I'm going to show you is almost all, not almost, they're all these cages. So I'm going to show you one thing, how they work, because people are always kind of amused by how ingenious these are. And these cages, they open up, right? There's a hinge at the bottom, and then there's the two sections that you'd put whatever stone in there, sort of thing. And then the bail is split, right? So one side has these two outside pieces of the bail, and the other side has that one inside. And when you close them, the one on the inside just goes into the other two, right? And then when you put your chain through that, that's what locks it in place, right? So it's just a very cool contrivance, I think. And as you're going to see, we have a lot of styles of these cages, and then I'm not going to open every one, but just so you know, that's how they work. MTP 944 for a stone up to around 8 millimeters. And again, this is one of those things that you can try all kinds of stuff in here. Retail price $18.72 and wholesale price is $12.48. And this is just like a little jester's hat at the top, right? Lovely piece. The next one is also very cool. This is a nice big heart, MTP 023 for, I guess, something up to around 9 by 9 by 11. Retail price $23.40. Wholesale price is $15.60. And this one, that's actually the back of it. Here's the front with a, it's just a kind of like a heart with a row of cubic zirconias around the outside, right? Very cool. This one is, and I should probably pull one of these out because it's kind of tricky to see how this works. MTP 936 for a piece up to 8 millimeter round, ideally. Retail price is $20.12 and the wholesale price is $13.42. And so this is what it looks like when it's open, right? The dolphins here are on the front, and you know, so they're like a cage, and this is the piece on the back that would hold your stone in, so that when you push that closed, you know, that creates the cage around there and holds your stone in there. So it would look like your dolphins leaping around your stone. Here's another MTP 935 for up to a 10 millimeter thing, stone, pearl, whatever you want to put in there, piece of beach glass, kidney stone. I've seen people put lots of weird things in jewelry, so that wouldn't really surprise me. Retail price is $14.98 and wholesale price is $9.98. There must be jewelry for that kind of stuff, right? People have kidney stones, and I've seen people make jewelry with their kids' teeth. As weird, as gross as I find that, some people loves it. MTP 698 for a piece up to around 13 by 13 by 12. Retail price $32.50 and the wholesale price is $19.50. Right, this is obviously a crown with a row of cubic zirconias in the bottom, and there's a cubic zirconia on the front, right? And we've got, I don't know what that is, a piece of turquoise in there, just something very cool to look at. In there. And next one, this one is one of my favorites, just because I'm a sucker for this kind of stuff. MTP 946 for something up to a 10 millimeter stone. Retail price $25.62 and the wholesale price is $17.08. And it's a cube, right? It opens up, you know, so that two halves. I don't know if I need to show you that specifically, how that one opens up, but you know, some of the sides have hearts, another one they say love. Is that so cute? Oh my god, I'm just dying. That's so cute. Right, so that's how that works. hinges at the bottom, and these open and close upon that, and there you got your love cube. Can't go wrong with that. Here's another one, another leaping marlin, maybe. MTP 947 for a 10 millimeter round. Retail price $36.15, wholesale price $24.10, and this just opens up, and the thing, you know, the bead, the round sphere, just sticks right up in there, and I don't know, seems pretty self-explanatory to me. Next one, MTP 248 for something up to around 14 by 14 by 21. Retail price $24.91. Wholesale price is $16.33. And again, that's just nice big oval, you know, cage. I think we've got a piece of turquoise in there to look at. This is that first one I showed you at the beginning, and I showed you that one because I think it's the biggest one that we've got. MTP 211 for something up to around 26 by 18 by 15. And again, you know, these sizes are, I mean, you could put anything that's big enough so that it doesn't fall through the bars of the cage in there, or many things, you know. You can, something like this, you could put, you know, a bunch of little beads or seashells or whatever you collect, you know, just very cool things. Retail price $31.38, and the wholesale price is $20.92. And then the next one is, you just turn this around so you see the front of it. This is that little political awareness ribbon, right? One of those little, if it were pink, it'd be a breast cancer ribbon, you know, but you know, you've seen these things everywhere. MTP 473 for a piece up to around 7 millimeters. Retail price $15.72, and the wholesale price $10.48. And this is similar to that other, the Leaping Dolphins ones, where there's, you know, the ribbons themselves are the, like the seat where the stone would fit in, and then this, the back piece holds the stone inside there. Next one is MTP 474 for a piece up to around 6 millimeters. Retail price $14.45. Wholesale price is $9.65. And this is just very cool cutouts, kind of, I don't know, stabby, leafy sort of, you know, cutouts. There's some, yeah, very interesting. The next one is MTP 949 for a piece up to a 10 millimeter piece of booty. Our retail price $32.89. Wholesale price is $20.93. And again, this is similar to the dolphins and that other political awareness ribbon. The cage on the back is just a simple piece. The hinge is way up at the top, right? And that'll hold your piece in there. Here's a nice tall cage for I don't know, crystal points or whatever. You have pieces, or I don't know, anything that fits in there. MTP 939 for a piece up to about 30 millimeters tall by 10 millimeter round. Retail price $40.82, and the wholesale price is $24.49. Right, cute little bars of the cage. You could put a little action figures in there, and you know, oh, we're trapped, help us. I don't know why that occurs to me. That looked kind of like a jail. MTP 937 for a piece up to around 10 millimeter round. This key with some hearts, right? Just that nice same oval, you know, piece. Retail price is $19.54. Wholesale price is $13.03. There's another kind of nice open one. MTP 941 for up to around an 8 millimeter round stone. $15.80 is the retail price. $10.53 is the wholesale price. And this is just kind of simple, you know, bars that are kind of twisted to give you that spiral effect. And then they've got this mill grain texture in the, you know, along the bars, on the outside of those bars. Very cool. Here's another kind of key looking thing, right? Little key one. This has a row of cubic zirconias in the front, and that one's been bent back and forth from years of being at the show. So I'm going to show you what one looks like out of the bag, right? So this is that, got that lovely row of cubic zirconias and the top, and this opens up, right? The two halves fit in together. MTP 950 for up to around a 10 millimeter thing. Retail price $18.25 and the wholesale price is $12.17. The next one is the Cinderella pumpkin carriage. It looks like a pumpkin to me. I know it's not, but I look at this and I see Cinderella. MTP 942 for an up to an 8 millimeter piece, right? Again, nice three-dimensional carriage. Retail price $29.25 and the wholesale price is $19.50. The next one, MTP 249 for a retail price of $16.56 and the wholesale price is $10.84. And this you could probably put something up to around, I don't know, 10 or 12 millimeters round maybe. Again, we've got this random piece of turquoise in there. This is the bigger of the two round ones we have. The little bit smaller version of that same thing, up to around, okay, so 9 by 9 by 10, MTP 251 for $14.52 is the retail price and $9.08 is the wholesale price, right? Oh, that looks like it's been bent a little bit from being in the trays. Here's one. I just love this because the first time I saw it, I thought, hey, is that the Olympic symbol? But it's not. It's just rings. Or maybe it is. I don't know. It's just rings, a heart made of jump rings, it looks like, with those little curly cues at the top and the bottom. But come on, that does look like the Olympic symbol, right? Show your love for the Olympics. MTP 945 for a 10 millimeter thing. Retail price $17.55 and the wholesale price $11.70. Hey, are we going to get the Olympics back this year? Right? Weren't we supposed to have it in 2020? We missed it. I think they, what, did they just cancel it altogether, or is it coming back? MTP 951 for a 10 millimeter thing. Retail price $21.88 and the wholesale price is $14.59. And this is just a heart cage, right? Lovely heart cage with a key dangling from it, right? So it's like a key to your heart, I guess, although the heart is right there connected to the... Anyway. I'm trying to figure out the imagery of this, and I mean, I get it, but MTP 938 for a 7 millimeter thing, pair, treasure, found object, whatever. Retail price $19.16, wholesale price $12.19, and this lovely lotus flower, right? You can't go wrong with that. Kind of a classic shape. Very cool. And this one, I love this elephant, a very stylized elephant, right? With the I love his little tail there. Look at the little tail. No. Hold the thing in there. MTP 948 for an 8 millimeter found object. Retail price $22.46, and the wholesale price is $14.98. Yeah, I just think that's very cool. And the last one on this tray, and indeed the last one for today, is this lovely MTP 943 for something up to 8 millimeters wide by 15 millimeters tall. Retail price $16.97 and the wholesale price is $11.31. And it looks like there are cubic zirconias in there, but there aren't. It's just this lovely vines and swirly components, right? Got that same hinge at the bottom and the thing at the top, and yeah, that's it. Let me just switch this back to the. So, I can move this up again. Oh. You see the showroom. So, leaning back in my chair. Thanks for joining us again this week. Next week, what is the 13th? Wednesday the 13th. So it's still lucky, even though it's not Friday. We'll do the next 3 trays in this thing. And again, if you have any comments, questions, critiques, please just give us a call. Let us know. You can email us. You can message us here. Email us. Info at Canada Findings. That's Marble's thing. Mark at Canada Findings is mine. Nelson at Canada Findings is Nelson's. Again, if you share this is what I forgot to mention at the beginning. If you share the video, let us know, or I guess we'll find out. And you get your free polishing cloth. Orders placed during the live stream, and maybe because I didn't say it, I think we'll continue this for the next hour or so. Yeah, I'm being generous today with somebody else's money, which is always the best way to be generous. Hi, Marvel. Is Marvel watching? I'm pretty sure Marvel's watching. Awesome. So there we go. I'm going to extend this discount for the next hour. If you order during the live stream, any retail priced orders that you place will get free shipping, free regular shipping. With the proviso that if the end result is over $100, we have to put tracking on that. So then, that. So then we have to charge you for that. But I guess that's it. Again, thanks for your support all through last year and Christmas and everything. Keep making stuff. If you're feeling depressed, just try to make something that you've made before. If you're having trouble making new stuff, again, I always like to just fall back on something that I've made before, and just the very act of making something, of doing something, of working gets those synapses firing and gets the creative juices flowing, and then you can start thinking of other things, and just making stuff that you've done before is another good way, just to keep the skills up. Anyway, take care of yourself, take care of the planet, take care of your mental health, stay safe. We're in the final stretch of the thing. Hopefully 2021, by the end of 2021, the whole coronavirus will be a distant memory, hopefully. Yeah, I'm sure. And then we'll be able to be doing fun things like going out to shows and seeing you guys, and going on trips to fabulous destinations, and selling our great jewelry that we've all made, right? So take care, and we will see you next week, next Wednesday, 10:30 Pacific, and extrapolate it out to wherever you are. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye. I finish this.